who's still pinned down behind a tree, is clinging to life.
999, hang in there. 9837 is almost there.
99, thank you. Thank you for talking.
So I had resigned myself to the fact that there were people that were dead. We didn't know about it, and we would just do the best we could with what was left.
The police grow desperate.
Being notified, officers are looking for guns stored now.
We need long guns. We need to defeat the threat. And some of our gang officers and our detectives went to B&B Guns Code 3.
One officer is at a gun store getting several AR-15s for the unit.
The cops borrow several assault rifles with .223 caliber ammo. But by the time they're deployed, the first SWAT unit arrives.
Our supervisor got on the air and told us not to deploy our MP5, which is a 9mm round, which their body armor would defeat, but to deploy our assault rifles, which is a .223, which their body armor would not defeat.
9:48 a.m. The four-man SWAT unit drives to the south side of the bank. They will use a covert strategy to apprehend the suspects. But first, they want to rescue the wounded from the kill zone. One of the SWAT officers jumps out and helps police commandeer an armored truck.
Somehow communicated with the driver, we need your truck, and he called into his headquarters. And apparently they were watching the shootout on television as it was being broadcast and said, yeah, if they want to use it, let them use it.
North of Archwood, 30 yards on Laurel Canyon.
The armored truck transports police into the death zone to search for Officer Martin Whitfield, who's been bleeding for over 30 minutes. He's not responding.
9L89, 9837 is almost there. Hang in there. 9L89, 9L89, come in.
9:53 a.m. Police pour out of the armored truck and rescue Officer Martin Whitfield, who's barely conscious. He's transported to the hospital for surgery on his fractured leg and other wounds. Whitfield will survive. While the armored truck rescues victims, the gunmen are fleeing the bank's north parking lot. Phillips continues to fire rounds while he walks alongside the slowly moving getaway car driven by Serrano.
I'm going to guess is that one said get in the car and the other one said no, I'll provide cover fire or you drive the car down the street.
It was like, oh my God. It's not ending. It won't stop. It won't end.
The thing that scared me the most was that these two guys, who were clearly the worst people I had ever dealt with, the most dangerous, the most violent, were going to get away.
Roger, at Laurel Canyon. The vehicle is not coming out. He may be hit. The other suspect is walking on the east side of the vehicle. He's taking green. Everybody down. Everybody down. Shots are being fired. One suspect is possibly injured inside the vehicle, and one is outside the white vehicle to the rear of the bank.
Phillips appears unfazed as officers shoot out the tires on the getaway car.
We've got one suspect on foot. We've got one suspect driving the white vehicle.
Serrano continues to drive, while Phillips ducks behind a tractor trailer.
The suspect on foot is behind a long truck trailer rig.
We left the backyard and we headed up the street to cut them off. I was met by Officer Caparelli, who was running away from the corner and shooting back behind him. He ran by me. I said, "What are you shooting at?" He said, "There's another one. He's under that truck."
I don't remember exactly what I told him, but that's at that last few moments when Larry Phillips was walking towards us. I said, you know, this is it. You know, I'm going to feel him hit me. You know, I'm going to go down right here. And the second I turned, there was actually a fire hydrant right to my left, and I just jumped over the hydrant and I ran across the street.
The cold-blooded killer fires his AK-47, but the weapon jams. Police call it a stovepipe jam.
A stovepipe is a very common malfunction, and it's where the empty shell casing doesn't completely eject and is just hanging there like a stovepipe. To clear it, you just need to hit that thing, and the gun's ready to operate.
But instead of clearing it, Phillips abandons his jammed AK-47 and pulls out his 9mm handgun. The homicidal maniac now engages officers at the corner of Archwood and Agnes.
Here's Larry Phillips now with a handgun walking toward me. We engaged each other again.
When he came into view, the first thing I realized is he's got a handgun just like mine. That made me feel very relaxed, that now it's even, and I returned fire.
Officers fire at Phillips. One round strikes his hand. He drops his gun. Then he picks it up, points it under his chin, and squeezes the trigger. At the same moment, a police bullet rips through his shoulder and severs his spine.
Do I wonder if any of my bullets hit him? Well, we know that something knocked the gun out of his hand. Could it have been one of my bullets? I like to think so.
Did Phillips kill himself or accidentally pull the trigger?
Larry Phillips had made the comment that he would never be taken alive. He lived up to what he said.
I don't believe he was giving up. I believe that he was trying to reload that weapon one-handed.
I think he accidentally pulled the trigger. I think he wanted to continue to fire, and he would take as many cops with him as he could.
9:53 a.m. One gunman is eliminated. The other is still on the run. 9:53 a.m., North Hollywood, California. A vicious bank robbery and shootout have taken a dramatic turn. Approximately 10 police and 7 civilians are injured. And now, one of the shooters, Larry Phillips, is dead. He shot himself under the chin while a police bullet simultaneously severed his spine.
I think the defining moment is when Larry Phillips went down. I think at that point we knew that we had the upper hand.
The second suspect, Emil Matasareanu, still flees down a residential street. He suddenly exits the passenger side and blasts the area with automatic fire.
Be advised, the suspect in the white vehicle is at Lamp. He's out of the vehicle, he's shooting at civilians.
The suspect is out of the vehicle at Lamp shooting at civilians.
Matasareanu then hobbles around to the driver's side. Police now believe he has been hit in the lower leg.
The suspect is back in the white vehicle. He is now moving slowly eastbound between Lamp and Beck.
It was literally impossible to block every side street simply because of the sheer numbers of side streets and people that live in the area.
Matasareanu suddenly fires through his windshield and strikes an oncoming Jeep pickup truck. The driver of the pickup abandons his vehicle. Matasareanu pulls up and proceeds to retrieve more weapons and ammo from his trunk.
The suspect is now in a brown truck westbound Archwood.
Matasareanu now attempts to hijack the pickup, but the driver took the keys with him. Officers wave the SWAT unit down the street. They think they're going to rescue someone injured. Instead, they pull up within feet of the suspect. Matasareanu abandons the hijacked truck and fires at SWAT from the hood of his getaway car.
More shots are being fired. Shots are being fired.
SWAT officers pummel rounds under 3 vehicles toward Matasareanu's feet. The suspect returns fire at close range using a fully automatic M16 rifle.
Be advised, the suspect is prone out. He may be shooting underneath the vehicle towards officers.
The suspect is prone out and possibly shooting at the officers from under the vehicle.
And looking back at it, I believe we had fired maybe 15, 16 rounds apiece.
After almost 2 minutes of intense fire, Matasareanu drops his weapon. The SWAT unit carefully draws near the suspect. 9:59 a.m. Emil Matasaranhu is handcuffed. The nearly 45-minute ordeal is over.
When the shooting stopped and we ran up to Matasaranhu, he was swearing at us. He was angry. He didn't seem to be in any pain. He just seemed to be real angry that he had lost.
Matasaranhu will die before paramedics can reach him.
We did request for paramedics to respond to our location, but we definitely didn't want to just let somebody lay there and die just because they are a suspect. And we also have to make sure that that area is safe. For paramedics, they will not go into what they call a hot area as long as there is a possible armed suspect that is still outstanding.
But the area is still a hot zone. Police receive information that a third gunman is at large and possibly holding hostages in the bank.
We topped our magazines off, reloaded our weapons, and went back to the bank to rescue those 30 people that were still in the bank.
Several SWAT units storm the bank. They discover the suspects had locked the 30 employees and customers inside the vault.
I'm very surprised not only they didn't kill anybody in the bank, but I'm very surprised that they didn't kill anybody during that whole incident.
The area is locked down until almost midnight. Finally, over 14 hours after the gun battle had begun, the search for a third gunman is terminated.
It's our opinion now that there was only these two suspects. They made nobody privy to their activities, not even their wives.
In the end, the two gunmen fired over 1,100 rounds of ammo. Police and SWAT fired over 650 rounds. 10 police officers and 7 civilians were injured. There were only 2 fatalities. Gunman Larry Phillips was shot 11 times, including a self-inflicted wound to the chin. His partner, Emil Matasaranhu, was shot 29 times.
You know, death is never a good thing, but I felt great when I knew that they had shot them. I was sad that they died, though, because they should have been prosecuted. They should have stood trial for what they did.
Many of the officers received medals of valor for their heroism. Yet the honors and accolades cannot strip away the physical and emotional pain that many endure to this day.
I have 2 or 3 herniated discs in my back with nerve pain running down my legs because of the injuries I received that day.
There were sleepless nights going over and over in your mind. Why did that gun jam? What if it didn't? You know, it takes a toll.
After this incident, I made up my mind that it was a good time for me to retire.
As a result of the North Hollywood shootout, some officers now are trained to carry M16 assault rifles. Police want to end the shootout before it ever begins.
I can guarantee you, if I was thrust into this situation tomorrow, I wouldn't have changed any of the things that I would have done. Hey, if you're shot, you keep fighting. You find the will to survive.
Am I afraid now that it could happen again? I believe that it will, because crime doesn't stop. It just changes.